Back in December of 2023, I started out this full series where I was covering one platform per week, from KDP to Draft2Digital to Publish Drive to Blurb to every imaginable self-publishing platform there is. But boy, that's a lot of information. What if you want to just know about, hey, who's got the best royalties? Who do I need to go to get the biggest bang for my buck? And so what I've done is I've taken all the information, curated it, and kind of just distilled it down into very important price points, so that way everybody can kind of get a good idea as to where they should go or what they should consider. So today we're going to be talking about who has the best royalties for self-publishing. And if you're looking to level up your understanding of the self-publishing business, then consider subscribing to my premium video on-demand service, theselfpublishinghub.com. For only $9.99 per month, get access to over half a dozen courses, hundreds of videos, and hours of exclusive footage. Just head over to theselfpublishinghub.com to sign up today. Start it when you want, cancel when you like. Heck, binge watch all the videos in 1 month. I don't mind. I even encourage it. Why spend thousands of dollars on learning this business when you could do it for the cost of a light lunch or a fancy drink at Starbucks? One of those froofy ones with a bunch of cream on top, Remember, it's the one, the only, theselfpublishinghub.com. So who has the best royalties for self-publishing? We're going to focus strictly on ebooks and print books. For the sake of simplicity, I won't break down the math behind the royalty structures of every company. So in other words, I'm not going to say like I did in a recent video over on my main channel where I was like, a book for $9.99 is going to end up getting you. Yeah, that's a lot of work. I think I'm going to leave it up to you to explore. So I'll just give you just the raw data. Do your research to see what's right for you. That's so important. And I won't be focusing on audiobooks because I'll be starting a whole new series about audiobooks next week. And I know audiobooks isn't quite as popular with some people, but anybody that's considering digital narration, there are some avenues to explore that can be able to bring you in some additional revenue while you wait to afford some premium narrators. And at the end of the series, I'll wrap up that one with a summary of each one of the best royalties for audiobook sales. So I organized the ebook list according to the least profitable to the most profitable royalties. If numerous platforms share the same royalties, I judge them based on reach. Now, I only organize my ebook list, whereas the print book list, we'll get to that in just a second here. So I want to kind of focus first of all on the direct options. Now, keep in mind, I've got links to each one of these sources, so feel free, you can go ahead and click on it and you can visit it and it'll give you all the information that you need to. Let's start out with number 11, Barnes & Noble Press. Now, Barnes & Noble Press is pretty good. I feel like it needs a little bit of an overhaul. It really needs to expand its reach to get me excited about it. But right now, it's great for US reach only. You do get 70% royalty, but, big but here, there is a 99-cent minimum threshold. So you can't price anything for free through Barnes & Noble Press. However, here's a really cool thing. They do have an affiliate program that you can participate in that you'll get 2% more in affiliate sales. Now, if you're not familiar with affiliate marketing, essentially it's when you know, like, or trust a specific product, you can join what's called an affiliate program. Any type of referrals or recommendations that you send through a specific link in an affiliate program, you'll get a percentage of the sales. You hear me say it a lot here on this podcast. I have a lot of affiliate programs. In fact, I'll probably mention a few affiliate links anyways, and they're going to be inside the description as per usual. But the affiliate program for Barnes & Noble will get you an additional 2%. So you're looking at double dipping and getting 72%. Now, some people are like, ooh, you say double dipping. Is this cool? Well, unlike the Seinfeld episode of the double dipping the chip there, you're not going to get in trouble here. George Costanza is going to be okay if he wants to double dip on his program here. You could get 70% when you sell a book, but because you use an affiliate link, you'll get an additional 2% on top of that. So that's really good. I didn't include the affiliate programs as far as along with the royalty because sometimes some people just don't want to bother with affiliate marketing. I won't hold it against you. Number 10, Apple Books for authors. Now, Apple Books has been around for a long time, and it's probably one of my favorite structures out there as far as royalty goes because it's 70%, no hidden fees or pricing restrictions. So whatever you want to publish, you can publish it without all the different restrictions. Their affiliate program that they have is 7%. That's actually really good. because normally you're looking at any type of affiliate programs for products like books being right about 2 to 4%, but this one's 7%. So you're looking at almost 77% when it's all said and done. Lesson is, get involved in the affiliate programs if you happen to go to one of these platforms. I would recommend, and I didn't put this in the notes, use books2read.com. All you have to have is a Draft2Digital account. It's 100% free to use, and you can take any of these affiliate IDs and you can put them in the background. So that way when someone clicks on your link to Apple Books and they buy your book, you're going to get that 70%. And then, of course, you're double dipping, you're going to get that 7% as well. Pretty nice, right? Number 9, Google Play Books Partner Center. It's so important. I usually say Google Play Books, and then some people get lost because they look up how to publish the Google Play Books, and it usually pulls up Google Play Books, and you're kind of going, it's important to include Partner Center in that conversation here. Google Play Books Partner Center reaches over 75 countries, and they have a 70% royalty. There's a little bit of an asterisk next to that because of those 75 countries, 11 of them have a 52% royalty. And I imagine it has to do with delivery costs and all that type of stuff. The infrastructure built out in those regions might require more money for them to kind of keep things going. But the good thing is, if you're kind of going, oh man, that sucks, you can double dip with this one. The affiliate program is, you ready for this? 7%, very similar to Apple Books. So in the event that you're, crushed about the 52% in 11 of the 75 regions, you always have the affiliate program. You can be able to get 7% as well. Number 8, Kobo Writing Life. I've been a very big fan of Kobo Writing Life, and I will be including them in part of my launch strategies moving forward here. They have a 70% royalty with an asterisk because it is for ebooks priced $2.99 or more. If anything is below $2.99, it's a 45% royalty. Now, it should be noted that Kobo Writing Life has access to other programs like Kobo Plus and Overdrive. Now, Kobo Plus is a subscription-based program very similar to Kindle Unlimited, where subscribers get to pay a monthly fee and they get unlimited access to ebooks that are enrolled there. Now, the beauty of Kobo Plus, unlike KDP Select or Kindle Unlimited, is there's no exclusivity required. You get 60% of earnings. Now with Kobo Plus, it's all based on the subscriber pool and minutes consumed. Yeah, it's not about pages read. It's all about minutes consumed. So however long it takes someone to read that ebook, those minutes are going to go into a giant pool, and then the pool of subscriber money or revenue is going to be evenly divvied out to the people based on performance. And that's 60%. So important to note that. Overdrive is a library system, and they reach thousands of different libraries. You can charge a bit more for your ebooks that are being distributed through Overdrive because it's expected. Since there's going to be one copy used by many patrons, it's important to kind of think about, maybe I ought to increase it 2 to 3 times. And this is the industry standard. A lot of companies would recommend that you do anywhere from 2 to 4 times your normal retail value. The beauty of it is you get 50%. Now, if you're already accessing Overdrive through companies like, say, Draft2Digital, the problem is you've put a middleman in between you and Overdrive. So that middleman's going to take their cut. Kobo Writing Life takes no cut whatsoever because Overdrive used to be owned by Kobo Writing Life's parent company, and they have since been sold off, but they continue to have that relationship, and they're able to give you the best royalty possible through Kobo Writing Life. And you ready for this? We could double dip on this one. Yeah, it's about 6% more that you can anticipate. Now, that's 6% in addition to that 70% or 45%, depending on the pricing that you have there. So it's kind of nice. Number 7 is Amazon KDP. Very shocking. I know this is something I said in my main channel video where I was talking about some of the best places to publish your ebooks. And it's because, they've got a pretty good royalty model. But here's the thing. It's 70% royalty on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, meaning you get 70% of the retail price for $2.99 to $9.99, minus delivery costs. Now, delivery costs are put onto only the 70% royalty, and they will charge you based on your file size. The larger the file size, the more the delivery costs. The smaller the file sizes, the lower the delivery costs. And I think the minimum delivery cost you can anticipate is at least 1 to 2 cents. It's probably going to be more if you have an image-heavy ebook. Now, here's the catch, though. There's another catch to this, and this is one of the reasons why they place a little bit lower on this list here, is because 4 regions, and that's going to be India, Brazil, Japan, and Mexico, that give you 35%, regardless of the price that you select. Now, in the event that you enroll your ebook in KDP Select, those 4 regions, you'll get 70%. And the delivery costs, of course, on top of that. But that's the only way to get 70% in those 4 regions. The 35% model, now this is if you choose to price outside that little safe zone of $2.99 and $9.99. So you get 35% royalty for anything priced between 99 cents to $2.98 or $10 or more. So just as a heads up, there's no delivery cost for the 35%. It's almost like they know you're going to get half the amount of royalty you would through the 70%. So they're like, we're not going to do delivery costs after all. The beauty of Amazon is they actually have the Amazon Associates program. I highly recommend all authors get themselves put into that program because you can get about 4% extra per sale. Not bad, right? Now, the most notable thing is the KDP Select program. KDP Select program functions in that subscribers pay a monthly fee for Kindle Unlimited, and they can read as many books as they like within the course of a month, and you are going to get paid by the pages read, and that's going to be divvied out equally according to the actual subscription pool. So based on your performance, if you get a bunch of pages read, you're going to get a bunch of money. If you don't get as much, then you're not going to get as much. So that made a lot of sense, right? Number 6 is Smashwords, but we're going to put a little bit of an asterisk next to this one because Smashwords was actually acquired in late 2021 by the company Draft2Digital. Now, I want to kind of focus on not so much on Smashwords' global distribution that they have, more so their storefront, because currently, if you are publishing direct to Smashwords, it's 85% royalty. That's really good. Minus, of course, the PayPal fees, because PayPal is going to take their chunk of flesh. That's 2.9% plus an additional 49-cent per transaction fee. I just want to give a heads up here that Draft2Digital has been slowly but surely merging Smashwords into their platform. In fact, if you want to publish a Smashwords store through Draft2Digital, it's about roughly a 77% royalty when Draft2Digital takes their chunk of flesh. So it's something to kind of think about. And I'm not going to say that there's any exact date or time, but I do have some inside intel, a little bit of resources, if you will, that says the merge is going to happen sooner than later. Smashwords is going to eventually get absorbed, and I imagine, this is just speculation, it'll probably be sometime here in 2024 that we're going to see that. I've heard that a few people have already been migrating their Smashwords accounts over to Draft2Digital. If you're already over on Smashwords, just wait. You'll get an email notification from the folks over at Smashwords to let you know that they're ready. They're just moving people a little bit at a time. Trying to move everybody all at once, that's just crazy. That's nuts. You don't want to do that. All right, number 5 is Gumroad. Now, they're 90% minus payment processors. Now, the payment processors that they honor are PayPal and Stripe. So both PayPal and Stripe have a 2.9% variable fee based on the region, but PayPal does a 49-cent per transaction fee, whereas Stripe does a 30-cent per transaction fee. Now, Gumroad is really neat. They have a marketplace built in that has a ton of organic traffic and sales. I've listed quite a few products over in Gumroad without even advertising, and I've gotten the sales there. That's really the crazy thing about it. I love their user interface, and there's a ton of great resources about Gumroad, and it's not talked enough within the self-publishing community, especially for those folks that are looking into doing direct sales. Because, I mean, gosh, 10% is all that Gumroad takes. That's it, period. Flat. 10%. They used to have a different tiered model and all that, but they tossed all that out and they're like, it's just 10%. Let's just stick with that. That's much easier. And it is. I really do like Gumroad. great for direct sales. Number 4 is Lulu. Now, I've called them Lulu Press, lulu.com. You will get a 90% royalty. There's a little asterisk right next to that because if you sell through the Lulu bookstore, you get the full 90% royalty, and they just collect 10% for handling that. Now, there's some organic sales you can get through the Lulu bookstore. If you want global distribution, though, meaning that they reach out onto platforms like Amazon and beyond, that's $4.99. And that $4.99 fee is so that way any of the staff over at Lulu will be able to tell you whether your ebook is up to snuff. It's kind of just a way to vet all the ebooks. $5 ain't too bad, considering that a couple of these other options I'm going to mention later that charge much, much more. But you get 90% of net royalties through the global distribution, meaning that the net royalty, meaning that, yeah, when you sell it through, let's say Amazon, Amazon's going to take their profits. They're going to send the rest of those net profits over to Lulu. Lulu's going to take their 10%, and then you get the 90% that's left over. Just keep in mind that the global distribution royalties vary per retailer, and it was about 39% to 63% net royalty for each one of those avenues. Is that great? No. But is it terrible? I've seen worse. Number 3 is Payhip. Now, this is essentially almost like Gumroad, but you don't have the marketplace, and you're solely responsible for driving traffic. The nice thing is, on their free plan, it's 95% royalty minus payment processors. They use PayPal and Stripe. Just to repeat myself, it's 2.9% for each one of those, varied by the region, and it's a 49 cent per transaction fee for PayPal and 30 cents per transaction for Stripe. They have many great tools and resources. You can do your ebooks, you can do audiobooks, you can even have print integrated with that. And I think BookVault was working on that integration not too long ago, and I think it should be fully integrated. They do have 3 tiers you can take advantage of. So the free plan, I've told you, it's a 5% fee. For their Plus plan, it's $29 per month, and you get a 2% transaction fee. And then if you subscribe to their $99 per month option, that is a 0% transaction fee. I would recommend before you start subscribing to any one of those tiered plans that you have at least the following to justify that cost. Now, the nice thing is for some reason you're not happy with those plans, you can always walk it back to free, and you can continue to do the 5%. So just something to think about. Number 2 is StoryOrigin. Again, you're solely responsible for traffic with StoryOrigin. Theirs is really nice in that you get 100% royalty minus the payment processor fees. Now, keep in mind, you do have to pay a subscription fee in order to use StoryOrigin, and that's about $8.33 per month annually, or $10 per month, month to month. They use a payment processor called Lemon Squeezy, and that's about a 5% transaction fee, as well as the 30 cents per transaction fee that is going to be included that. So 5%, that brings it down to 95%. Not bad, plus the 30-cent transaction fee. So I really use StoryOrigin for many other reasons, including like book marketing and networking with other authors. I use it for beta readers, ARC team management, and audiobook code distribution, and so much more. I've gushed about StoryOrigin so many times before. Go over, check them out at dalelinks.com/StoryOrigin. I think you're going to really dig them. And number 1 for ebooks is LaterPress. Now, stay with me because this is going to be a longer episode than usual here, folks, because we're going to dive into print books right away. Number 1 is LaterPress. That is 100% minus payment processor fees, and they work with Stripe, and it is limited availability. In some regions, it's not able to reach. So my apologies if you're in a region that Stripe does not honor, but theirs is 2.9% plus the 30 cent per transaction fee. So you're as close to 100% as possible on LaterPress. The only way to get any better is if you had your own payment processor and hosted it on your own website. They have something, though, called community referrals. Now, community referrals is optional. You don't have to take advantage of this. So in the event that, let's say, for instance, an author refers someone to buy your book, you will get 85%. So 5% of that will go to the person referring you, and 10% goes over to LaterPress. In the event that there is no one referring you and LaterPress refers to traffic, that's 90% because LaterPress is going to take their 10%. They have a recommendation system in place that really kind of helps bolster sales and gets it to where there's some cross-pollination on the platform. Just a heads up, they are ebooks only, but fingers crossed, I've really been pushing them hard to get audiobooks available. But right now, they said, Dale, look, we're just focused on iterating what we have and making it the best it possibly can be before we start to expand over into audiobooks. So big shout out to Nate Gillick and the team over at LaterPress. Let's go ahead and hit aggregate publishing avenues. Now, I just want to kind of explain the complexities of aggregate publishing. Aggregate publishing is essentially someone publishes your books to numerous platforms on your behalf, and in return, they collect a certain percentage or a fee for that distribution. So I'm going to hit each one of these. Now, keep in mind that each one of these aggregate publishing avenues have an agreement put in place with different retailers. So let's say, for instance, one avenue could probably be like Draft2Digital, and they distribute to Amazon. Amazon might have an agreement put in place with Draft2Digital that it's 70% royalty. So that 70% comes over through a company like Draft2Digital, and they collect their percentage before you get your percentage. Now, StreetLib is going to be one of the first ones I want to talk about, and I want to throw BookRix right in with it because StreetLib did acquire BookRix earlier this year. Actually, it was late 2023. They had to have a 70% net royalty. Xinxi, that's spelled Xinxii, that's a 70% of net royalty. Draft2Digital, here's one, and I've misspoken in the past, and big shout out to one of my viewers that like, hey, you've been kind of misspeaking about this, and he wasn't incorrect at all. It's 10% of your list price that actually they're going to take. So if your book's $9.99, then they're going to take 99 cents from each sale of your book. Beyond that, though, I mean, you're looking at different royalties based on the different retailers. Love me some Draft2Digital. They're fantastic. Am I the biggest fan of the 10% of list price thing? No. But I'm not a fan of having to go to 50,000 different locations, and some of them aren't even accessible direct. So Draft2Digital is great for that. Publish Drive is another one. Now, this one's an interesting one. They do 100% net royalty minus the monthly subscription fees. So rather than like the previous 2 or 3 that I had mentioned, they don't take a cut of the revenue. Yes, they have the royalty agreements put in place for each one of those retailers, but you get to collect all of what comes in, all those net profits. And all you have to do is pay that monthly fee. So they actually have 4 different plans. They have the starter plan, which is good for one book. That's $14.19 per month annually, but you only reach 35 of the channels. Now, the other options that I'm going to mention provide 53 channels. There is standard, which can do 6 books. That's $20.99 per month annually. The plus plan is 18 books for $41.99 per month annually. And then the pro plan has 48 books for $83.99 per month annually. Now, it should be noted that each iteration of a publication count as a book. So if for some reason you decide you're going to do the ebook, the print book, and the audiobook version, that's 3 different books that you're going to have to account for. So just as a heads up, I don't recommend Publish Drive for all authors. I would recommend Publish Drive for authors that are generating a significant amount of income through any of those different avenues and don't want to put it through, let's say, for instance, Draft2Digital or Xinxi, where they're taking even more than that monthly rate. In fact, Publish Drive, and I didn't put this in the notes, actually has a calculator. Just Google it up, Publish Drive calculator, and they'll be able to tell you whether it makes sense to go with them or not. All right, let's transition over into print books here. Now, I just want to let you know that with print books, it gets a little bit more dicey because you have to account for print fees. So anytime that I say any of these percentages, just understand it's going to be minus print fees as well on top of that. And print fees are going to vary based on your page count and in some platforms, your trim sizes. Now, I won't place these in order because it requires deeper research based on your needs. So I think it's going to be up to you to kind of explore those options. With KDP, they have a 60% minus print fees. And if you want to use expanded distribution, they do 40%. I said I wasn't going to say minus print fees, and I said it anyways. This is almost like a psychological thing. I just tricked myself out on that one. Expanded distribution is essentially available in US and UK through Ingram Book Group. They're the ones that handle expanded distribution. And if you're not familiar with Ingram Book Group, they're the parent company of IngramSpark, and they're also responsible for distribution for many of these platforms I'll mention to you. One of the best ways to get the most royalty is just to go right over to the platform. So I recommend that if you're looking at expanded distribution and you don't want the limitation of just US and UK, you want to get all of what Ingram Book Group can do, go straight to IngramSpark, because IngramSpark has a 45% to 65% royalty. They have the widest reach with over 40,000 online retailers, libraries, institutions, and all that type of stuff. They are free to use. However, there's a $25 update fee 60 days after you have published. I imagine this has a lot to do with them having to manage their inventory and update those type of things. So make sure that you have your manuscript right within the first 60 days. Otherwise, you're going to have to eat that cost. Or you can use my special code to waive that update fee, DALE 2024. That's 2024, like the year. It's going to be good through the rest of this year. Or here's one you can do. One update fee is waived per month if you're an Ally member. And you can get an Alliance of Independent Authors membership. I've got one myself through the author plan. It's dalelinks.com/ally. All right, next one, BookVault. They do a 35% to 70% royalty. Again, it's kind of variable depending on the avenue that you choose. They do have an upload fee of $25. See what I mean? There's a lot of upload fees that we kind of have to account for. However, they know, BookVault knows that I'm a huge fan of theirs, and we've actually had a chance to talk with each other on numerous occasions. I said, Dale, give them this code BV as in BookVault, BVDALE, all caps, that'll waive the next 3 uploads. This code is good for a long time. I think they told me like till 2028 or something like that. It's a while. So, or you can avoid those upload fees altogether if you're an Ally member. You're seeing kind of a pattern here because IngramSpark had that available. Well, BookVault's like, hey, we don't even put any limitations. If you're an Ally member, we'll waive you through. dalelinks.com/ally. Don't even need to say any more about that. Which, by the way, if you're an Ally member, you would need to go over into the section for deals and discounts, and that's where you'll find it underneath BookVault. Lulu's the next one at 80% for print books. However, if you want the global distribution that they have, and not just Lulu Bookstore, much like the same way that we did with ebooks, you're actually going to have to, they're requiring proof ordering. Now, this is something that I've even spoke to the Lulu team about, that it is something that they have to do. It's mandated, and I believe probably something like Amazon might do it. I'm not going to put words in their mouth, but they said, essentially their partners said, you got to do proof ordering in order to get that distribution. Makes sense. Barnes & Noble Press has a 55% royalty. Just a heads up, though, it's very limited reach in the U.S. only. It's got slow processing time, limited reach, but it does have phenomenal, great quality because, you ready for this? It's fulfilled by Lightning Source, which Lightning Source is a sister company to IngramSpark, meaning that it is underneath the parent company of Ingram Book Group. And yeah, you could go through Ingram Book Group and hit Barnes & Noble if you want to, but you're going to get just a little less than if you were to go direct with Barnes & Noble Press. So, Draft2Digital is the next one. They actually have a 45% royalty. Now, they are really trying to tweak and make this one better. They have a limited amount of trim sizes and such, and their print proof ordering initially when they had launched out of beta was a little questionable. It was like $32 per proof copy, and I'm like, what? That was for expedited shipping and fulfillment. And I was like, yeah, they more recently changed that, and they have numerous pricing options that can fit everybody's budget. So I definitely say look into that if you're curious. They do allow 1 free update per 90 days. Otherwise, you have to buy change tokens for $25 a piece through Draft2Digital. So make sure that you get it right. You get 1 mulligan, but after that, they're like, no, that's going to cost you. They're using Ingram Book Group for distribution, and you're getting a significant cut less than what you do if you're going through a company like IngramSpark. But they do reach more than what KDP does. And then let me give you the last one here because we can keep going on and on about it. Blurb. Now, Blurb actually has a variable royalty, and it looks like they leverage the Ingram Book Group, but they also have their own bookstore you can order through. They have a broad reach, which is 40% royalty, and they have a comprehensive reach for 55%. the 55%. Now this is, excuse me, I should probably walk that back. Broad is 60% for you, excuse me. Comprehensive is going to be 45% for you. Now the reason why that comprehensive one is so low for you is that it's more appealing to a lot more retailers to stock your book on their shelves, whether virtual or in person. So that's something the Ingram Book Group has said for many, many years. You want to get into more bookshelves and in online stores, drop your royalty, get your wholesale percentage down there. Hey, just a really quick plug here. Subscribers of the selfpublishinghub.com directly support this podcast and video content I produce on YouTube. For only $9.99 per month, you can access a deep backlog of exclusive videos at theselfpublishinghub.com. Remember, it's the one, the only, theselfpublishinghub.com. I know we went a little longer than usual, but this was a lot of ground to kind of cover, so I didn't want to just try to speed through it as you're trying to madly write everything down. Do your research to find out what works best for your business plans. This business isn't one size fits all, so look through these options, talk with other authors, and find out what works best for your business and your goals. Me personally, I go direct when I can, and I only use aggregates when I can't reach smaller retailers, library systems, and subscription services. For ebooks, I currently use KDP, Apple, Barnes & Noble Press, Kobo Writing Life, Google Play Books Partner Center, Draft2Digital, Smashwords, and Publish Drive. Now, I assume it's going to be just Draft2Digital and no Smashwords, but you get what I mean. For print, I do KDP, IngramSpark, and BookVault. That's exactly what I do. Now, we're starting to wrap up today's little podcast here. I want to let you know that we are starting a new series this next week, and it's going to be going on for at least a couple months, where we're going to be talking about publishing audiobooks. And next week's going to start out with the biggest dog in the game, publishing audiobooks on Audible by way of ACX. Oh, yes. Am I going to go on a rant? We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try to be on my best behavior because I do know that ACX probably pays attention to these videos, and I don't want them to start feeling bad about themselves. But we will go ahead and break ground on that this very next week. I appreciate you tuning in to this series over the past few months. It's meant the world to me that you take a little bit of time out your day to spend some time with me. Till later, this is Self-Publishing with Dale, and I'll catch you next week.